Hello and welcome to today's video. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about Allen wrenches. What are they? Sometimes known as hex wrenches. How do they work? And what are the different types? Because just saying Allen wrench can mean a whole variety of things. So what does that really mean? So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to know. First off, it's important to know, is there a difference between a hex key and Allen wrench? The answer is no. Hex key is really their intended name because they're a hexagonal shape with 6 sides, and that's the key is the one that goes into it, and then the bolt or screw has the whole fitting for it to go into it. However, around maybe 1910, in that sort of era, there was a company called the Allen Manufacturing Company. And the Allen Manufacturing Company is the one who started widespread producing these things and kind of became popular for it. The same way a Kleenex is what's known as a tissue or a Xerox for a printer. They're known as Allen keys when really it's just a hex key. So that's the first thing you're going to want to know. And the main designs of them aren't too difficult. They're all really just a single prong with a hexagonal shape and a different size in either inches, like this one right here, or sometimes in metric millimeters. So sometimes it's helpful to have two. I have these 2 different ones for different applications. And the main types are these folding multi-piece ones that have a whole bunch in part of them. This one's a little fancier. Then there's L-shaped ones, and we're going to talk about these all more later. L-shaped ones, and also a triangle one known as a T-handle key. Also, there are these multi-tools like this one right here that can be used on a bike, and this can be helpful for a variety of purposes. And finally, there's also little bits you can buy for your drill or screwdriver. So by the end of this video, you're going to know what each of them do and when it's going to be helpful for you. Another important thing to understand about them is what are they used for? What do they do? So I have right here a bolt that has a hexagonal head and just a little nut right here that goes on it. So I can do it by hand a little bit, then it gets tricky. To find it, I can use any one of these. I'll use this one for example, and I might start off with something a little big like this. Oh, doesn't fit. And just the nice thing about these is that you can try a whole bunch. Then you try something smaller, and it goes in it, but it's a little too small. And you just keep doing that, playing around with it until either you know the size, like this one right here is a 4mm, and I put it in, and oh, it's a 4mm. So it just sits in there nicely. The nice thing about hex keys is it's a single hole that's pretty deep. It's uniform, unlike a Phillips, which kind of angles down. So a Phillips kind of can kick out, whereas this one really slots in there nicely. And once you're in, you can really turn it and don't have to worry too much. Like I'm not even holding it. You can shake it and it's not going to fall out too easily. So that's really nice if you're doing something that you want like one-handed use. Say this is bolted in. You don't need to have it like a Phillips or a flathead that just slip right out of there. So that's a nice addition. Most commonly, hexagonal keys, hexagonal bolts, they're used in things like bicycles, mechanics, some electronics, and some smaller other things that they're helpful with. Most commonly, where you're going to see this and where you're going to use this is a bike, and I'll show you in a second what that looks like. I have a bike right here, and one of the most simple and most used things is to change the height of the seat. So this bike right here, it's a mountain bike, and you can see it right here. This right here clamps down on the seat post and puts a lot of pressure. So to find it, I have a multi-tool here that I keep in my bike, and I'm just going to start with a random size. This one right here is 6mm, way too big. Try a smaller size on the other side. These look pretty small, but I'll give it a shot. See, still a little small. Just find it in the middle. I'm gonna guess 4mm is probably it. Get it? And it works. So one of the benefits of a hex key, unlike a Phillips or a flathead, is it stays in there. I don't need to be holding this, and it does a pretty good job of that. So to loosen it, nothing special, just loosen it until you feel it. Then you can slide this up, down. This looks about right. And tighten that back up. Get it good? Then give it a little extra. Then you're ready to go with that adjusted height. Now that you know how they work and what they do, it's important to talk about the differences a little more in depth. The first one I'm going to talk about is the L-style hex key. This one is commonly found in products like furniture. Say you get something from IKEA, they'll drop a couple of these in the package to help you install it. And it's a hexagonal shape in the form of an L. I have two of them here. And it gives you two. It might seem like it doesn't do anything, but there's actually a reason for the L shape. It's leverage. So if you go like this, say I have this bolt, say it fit in here, and you're turning it, you can turn that pretty quickly. You're not going to get a whole lot of torque in that though. And so if you flip it like this, you can rotate, you see how much slower that takes me, and what that's translating that distance to torque. So with this farther handle, you can get a lot more force on tightening them or stuck bolts rather than just holding it too close like this. Also, it can be used in small things like furniture. I know some cabinets have Allen bolts in them that you need to remove, and this is a really small shape that it can kind of squeeze in between things. You can fit it in, turn it, pull it out, and just keep turning it. So the L shape is a very versatile and useful tool. This hex key, also known as a kind of like a T1, it's not fully T, but it's a triangle hex key, and it's got 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. So this one can be used on any of the same things as all these, of course, just the standard hexagonal shape, but it's a little bit wider. So like a cabinet with this one, you can see it takes up a lot more room. However, this one's advantage is the quick access to 3 different sizes. And if you're, say, driving a car, or there are some different ones for a bike, if you really only need 2 or 3 sizes, it can be a really handy way to keep them all together, because with this, you can lose one of these and it's not as nice as keeping them all together like this. However, where this one really shines is its weight distribution. What makes this nice is if, say I have, well, let's see, does this fit in here? Yep, it does. Say I have this locked in, you can start spinning this pretty quickly and you can do that real quick. So this one's nice because it's really quick and easy and convenient. So if you know what the sizes you're going for, maybe try and find one for this, and you can really just spin that out there real quick. If not, this one might not be the most convenient for you to carry around because it is a bigger one. It's bigger than the size of my hand going this way, and it's a little awkward of a shape. But if you're just keeping it in a shop, just putting it in a stand or something, it's a good choice. The next one, and my favorite, are folding style hex keys. That's this one right here that has a whole bunch. This one's in metric millimeters and smaller side too. Might have, I don't know, 9 or so different sizes. And I have a higher end one here in inches by D-Wall. And this one's pretty fancy that has a lock. So I can take this, I've got to squeeze it to undo it, and it'll lock in these positions right here. Lock it out, lock it straight so it's not going to bend. That's pretty nice. I mean, don't use it all the time. But this one's real advantage is it has the convenience of one like this, that it holds multiple together. If you lose this, that's not good, but you're not going to just lose like an individual size, like say the 1/16 inch one or 2/30, whatever, 3/8. You're not going to lose a standard, just one size. You're going to lose the whole thing, or you're not going to lose it at all, most likely, because it's pretty big. So that's its real advantage. Also, because it folds out, similar to this one where you can get the torque, you can take it and so you can go faster if you turn it vertically like this, or you can go horizontally and get that torque like this, where it goes a little slower. However, the main difference, again, unlike this one, is it is a bigger package, so you can't quite fit this one in. That this one needs to be extended fully out like this to get it in a hole in a cabinet, whereas this one doesn't need a whole lot of room to really just turn like that. So this one is the folding one, the multiple together, is definitely my favorite because it's the most convenient, offers the widest range, and offers both the quick access if you're going straight like this, or you can get that torque by turning it sideways and using the whole length of the handle as that torque like this. Another style, often popular with bikers like myself, I use this one, is a multi-tool that happens to include hex keys. So this one, I keep it in the back of my bike in case I need a tire, something's loose, and it has a whole bunch of things. Like it has right here, has a Phillips, a flathead, another star bit, and then it has a whole assortment of different hex keys right here. These are some small ones. And on the back, it has some of the most standard sizes in bikes. So it has, I think these are millimeters, 4, 5, 6, and 8 millimeters. So these are most commonly used in biking, and having something like this on a single package, including the Phillips and flathead is a really nice way to hold a bunch of tools together. So if you don't need quite as many as this, getting a multi-tool like this, or there's a whole bunch of different types, is a nice compromise between this and having a Phillips or some other, maybe a knife on there too. Really convenient. The last type is a bit head for either a drill or a screwdriver like I have here. This one shows in millimeters from 1.3, 1.5 to a 3.5 millimeter hex key, and I have a whole bunch of others too. This one might not be as convenient, and you can lose these a lot easier than say this. If you just have this little head, that's really easy to get lost and throw around. That's why you probably want a little carrying case like this. But this advantage is in the speed and strength if you're going to put this in a drill. So for these ones, you can get a lot of torque like this, and if you hold it using the whole length, and you can get more speed if you go like this. However, you can't really get both unless you're super strong and can just really crank that really quick. But if you take one of these heads, you pop this in a drill, you get the advantage of the drill's strength, speed, and not getting you tired. So if you have a whole bunch of these to do, and you don't want to tire yourself out just cranking this over and over, a bit is probably the best option that you can put in a drill, and just put it in there, just get that going. So this one, I don't use it all the time. However, in repetitive actions, like say you have a bunch of furniture and you're just putting them in, you're gonna want something like this. This right here, I don't have any more types to go over for you today. I'm sure there's other types, maybe a quadruple one, something silly like that, and it'll probably get the same job done. At the end of the day, a hex key is what it is, hexagon. It's a different size, small to large, and it just needs to go in a bolt or something like this. So at the end of the day, it's your choice. Do you want that nice speed like going like this? You want to put it in a drill? Or do you want some close action if you can get it really close in flush with another piece of furniture like a cabinet right here? Or maybe you would just want the convenience of a multi-tool or one of these folding hex keys. So hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, let us know. And if you have any other ideas, comment them below. If you want to find anything more about us, you can find us at rdawg.com. That's rdawg.com. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day. Bye.